It's the CalebDMTG Show.
All right, let's get into this, huh? Aeronaut Cavalry, 4 and a white, human soldier, 3/4 flyer. Enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on another target soldier you control. So 5 mana for a 3/4 flyer is like solid in most limited formats. Blocks well, attacks well, you know, the evasion and all that. Obviously, you're getting something from the soldier buff. Some sealed formats, some limited formats, just like stacking a bunch of these would be totally fine with like no other soldiers. Who knows though? I don't know how fast this format's gonna be. Airlift ship plane, 2 and a white, 1/1. Human cleric flying. As a battlefield mill 3, you can put a planes card or a creature card with mana value 3 or less from among them into your hand. If you don't put a 1/1 counter on it. Okay. So you get a choice. You either get card advantage or a 3 mana 2/2 flyer. Yeah, this card rules. Ambush paratrooper, 1 and a white. Human soldier, 1/2, flash flying. Pumps the team. This card's okay, right? Like, just kind of okay. For the flash pump to matter, you need 7 mana. 7 mana is a ton. And the flash only really matters in combat if you're either like eating a 1/1 or trading with a 3/1 or something. It's kind of an odd card to have flash, really. Maybe there'll be some other reason for it. But yeah, so far Airlift's like a very first pickable card, and this one's like kind of medium. Anyway, hey Tangent, thanks for 20 months there. Good for a common. You talking about the Airlift? I think Airlift's very good for a common. Anything that says draw a card on it, even if it's situational. Calamity's Wake, 1 and a white instant, exile all graveyards. Players can't cast non-creature spells this turn, exile Calamity's Wake. Yeah, unless this is a very odd, limited set. This is more of a constructed card, right? Exiling all graveyards at instant speed, and then also silencing. Some kind of combo hoser. At 2 mana, it's probably not going to be great in Legacy. But could have use in Standard, Pioneer, maybe even Modern. You want to put this on a Scepter? Yeah. Who hurt you? What Dredge player? You're looking at it as Silence with upside? I was looking at it as like Graveyard Hate with upside. But yeah, similar thing, I guess. Deadly Riposte, 1 and a white, instant, deals 3 damage to target tapped creature and you gain 2 life. Oh, that's sweet. Thinking 2 life makes this a lot more exciting to me than this card typically is. 3 damage to an attacking creature or whatever. I'm usually like kind of meh on that sort of effect. This getting like a little bit of value is much more interesting to me. I'm probably gonna be kind of high on this one. Disenchant, regular old Disenchant. Some sweet Richard Kane Ferguson art, love it. Great Desert Prospector, 4 and a white, Human Artificer. Disenchant, some limited formats you can main deck them, some you can't. This is an artifact based set, right? So I gotta imagine the Disenchant's a totally main deckable card. Gonna be like just good. Great Desert Prospector, 4 and a white, 3/2 Human Artificer. Enters the battlefield, create a tapped Power Stone token for each other creature you control. Interesting. So it's like a ramp spell, but it costs 5. So you're just like ramping towards towards big chonky artifacts. This card could be sick. Definitely a build around, right? Yeah, right, Red? That's what I was thinking. Some formats you can main deck Disenchant. And this one you like probably actively want to, huh? Like maybe even multiple. Who knows? Hey, Dobbs is Dobbs. Thanks for 31 months there. In the Trenches, 1 white enchantment. Oh, so it's a Glorious Anthem plus. What's the 5 here? Or 5 and a white. Exile target non-land permanent you don't control until In the Trenches leaves the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery and only once. So it's a Glorious Anthem that just has a removal spell attached to it. That's kind of fucked. Isn't that kind of fucked? I feel like that's kind of fucked. Only once? Yeah, just once. Glorious Anthem, totally reasonable card. That's why it's a mythic. Yeah, it'd be a normal rare. It was just Glorious Anthem. Hey, Kayla's Command. 1 white sorcery. Choose 2. Get a 2/2. Put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control. Gains double strike until end of turn. Search your library for basic planes. Reveal and put in your hand. You gain 2 life and scry 2. Why's it gotta be a basic planes? What the shit? This card's sweet though. I want it to be an instant, but it'd probably be a little fucked up as an instant, Tom. I like that it's not a target. To put a 1/1 counter, it's just put a 1 counter on a creature, so you can put the 1/1 counter on the 2/2 if you really want to. Do the order here. Basic planes because it's just a rare. Yeah, it'd be a mythic if it could get a dual land. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's value. It's not going to, like, carry your sealed deck or anything, but obviously if you're in white, you're playing this card, picking it highly. You're comparing this to the Saga that made 2 Knights? I mean, this isn't necessarily better or worse than that card. It's doing different things, right? You've got, like, the ability to get a land, you can scry. Or you can push something like immediately. If a +1/+1 counter and double strike kills someone, then it's gonna be a lot better than the than that Saga, I get the comparison though, with it costing the same and the value attached. This is definitely less aggressive, despite having double strike on the card. Kayla's Reconstruction. X white sorcery. Look at the top 7 cards of your library, put up to X artifact and or creature cards. Mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This card sucks, right? So you're spending 4 mana and you can get 1 artifact or creature that costs 3 or less. I guess for 5 mana, you've got a Collected Company as sorcery speed and triple white. And then it starts to scale better if you're paying more mana. You think the biggest issue is triple white? I think the biggest issue is that it costs a shitload. And it gets small, shitty cards. The issue is like having your curve be value 3 or less, so that you're like getting a bunch of hits with this, and then still like wanting some expensive top end card to get them all. I don't know, I've played a lot of Coco, and the fact that that card costs 4 and not 5 is a big deal. Can't use Power Stones and limited to pay for it? Yeah, no, not really. You think XXY would have been better? Or White X, rather? Yeah. Yeah. It's a hard thing, right? Because, like, plus or minus a mana on Coco, and you either have, like, this busted thing or an unplayable card. I think that's the issue there. Lay down arms, white, sorcery, exile target creature with mana value less than or equal to the number of planes you control. Controller gains 3 life. Interesting. So it's like a Scred, but sorcery speed that gains them life, and it has to be all planes. But it is exile, not damage. And mana value. Interesting card. Against Death Shadow, I guess. Pioneer. What deck are you going to put this many planes in Pioneer? Does the mono white deck even have that many planes? Like, you're constricting your mana base by not playing non-basics, creature lands and stuff. Mono white humans is definitely a deck. I just don't think they I don't know. Like, for example, like this list has like literal 12 planes in it, so it's only like half the mana base is actual factual planes, because you want to play non-basic lands. Yeah, it doesn't say basic planes, but for that to matter, you're excuse me, you're talking like Modern or Legacy. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like those formats have better options, huh? Lauren, Disciple of History. Yeah, I could see that. Like a blue-eye control list in Standard, maybe. Maybe. Standard mono-white. Yeah, I could see that too. Lauren, Disciple of History. 4 mana for a 3/3 legendary creature, Human Artificer. Whenever Lauren or another legendary creature enters the battlefield, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. So this card probably rules, huh? Artifact set. I mean, it's a fucking 3/3 Gravedigger. What else do you want, huh? Lauren of the Third Path. Oh, we got multiple Laurens. 3 mana for a 2/2. Oh, I've seen this one. This is the Rex Sage. This is the Rex Sage that can also tap. I mean, it's Rex Sage with Vigilance. And then it can tap, and you and target opponent each draw a card. So the tap ability is a combo with Spirited Labyrinth, which is a card that Legacy Death and Taxes plays. And Legacy Death and Taxes players have wanted a Rex Sage in white for a while, and now they get one. It's not just like a good one, it's... I mean, it's not just a Rex Sage, right? It's also all this other stuff. The Vigilance and the tap ability. It's even a legend, so like they can save it with Karakas and like reuse it. Like how Elves reuses Rex Sage with Wirewood Symbiote. Death and Taxes can reuse this one with Karakas. It's kind of fucked up. Kind of a fucked up card to print. Yeah, the tap ability doesn't have to be good at all. Lauren's Escape, white, instant. And then of course, like, people play Rex Sage in fucking other formats besides Legacy, right? Obviously, Lauren's gonna see play everywhere. Not a limited bomb, to be clear. Constructed card. You can play it in limited, but you know, it's just another disenchant. With a body attached. Disenchant with value. Lauren's Escape. White, instant. Target artifact or creature gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Scry 1. And not that, like, fucking value isn't amazing and limited. It's just not a bomb, is what I'm getting at. You see rare and you're like, your mind goes bomb, right? Like, this will win all my games. And obviously a value card isn't that. But still a very high pick. Anyway, so an artifact or creature gaining hexproof and indestructible until end of turn is a pretty good trick, especially with a Scry 1 attached. Don't hate it. Not gonna like stuff a deck with them, but hell yeah, Tired Papa Smurf, thanks for 22 months there. Bro, a set review, you know it. Mass production, 5 and a white sorcery. Get 4/1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature tokens. Yeah, I mean, if them being an artifact is a buff, then maybe this is okay. Maybe this is a good rate. There's got to be a reason this costs 6 instead of like 5, right? And it's an uncommon, not a common. It's probably a lot better than it looks. Hate a Shaq thinks the 56 months there. 6 mana is so much, yeah. Constructs get juiced for every artifact. Sure. Yeah, maybe we'll get to some of those. Meticulous Excavation. 1 white enchantment. 2 white. Return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. If it has Unearth, instead exile it. And return that card to its owner's hand. What? So you return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. Huh? I'm having difficulty parsing this whole Unearth business. So you return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. If it has Unearth, instead exile it, then return that card to its owner's hand. Oh, so like if you unearth a creature, unearth a creature, Meticulous Excavation can save it. I gotcha. Thank you, chat. Interesting. This card can't be that good, right? It looks a little wonky. Seems ambitious. It does seem ambitious. And it does seem weirdly weirded, yeah. Took me a few and some help to figure out what that card was doing. Military Discipline, white, enchantment aura, flash, enchant creature. When there's a battlefield, enchanted creature gets free strike until end of turn, gets +1/+0. So yeah, I kind of hate this kind of trick, but maybe it's okay. Combat tricks are better in some formats than others, huh? And auras are better in some formats than others. I'm guessing it's a very low pick filler in your aggro deck. Myrel, Shield of Argive, 3 white. Legendary creature, Human Soldier, Mythic, 3/4. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Okay, that kind of reminds me of the white 2/2. Does something similar. Whenever Myrel, Shield of Argive attacks, get X/1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature tokens, where X is the number of soldiers you control. Okay, that's kind of sweet. So you can play soldiers the turn that you attack with this. And it'll get a buff from them. That's a sort of Krenko type ability, huh? Don't hate that. Yeah, Grand Abolisher, thank you. That's the card I was thinking of. So it's like a Grand Abolisher stapled to a Krenko. Seems like that should be a good card. She is 1/2, correct? Just like Krenko's a goblin. This plus time save. Ooh. Yeah, that's fucked up. This is why the other card's not 5 mana. What? I don't think that's true, Took Jake. You're not like scaling your limited cards around like your bomb mythics that one person in a billion's gonna get for their sealed deck or whatever, right? And mass production's not a constructed card. Can we agree on that? Alright, Phalanx Vanguard. 1 white, 2/2. Creature, Human Soldier, Vigilance. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Yeah, that's fine. Fillerish, right? You're not going to be picking it that highly. Power Stone Engineer, 1 white, 2/1. When it dies, get a tap Power Stone token. Oh, that's kind of sweet. I mean, if you can use it, right? If you can use it, value's value. Yeah, I'm more excited to put a card like Power Stone Engineer in my deck than a card like Phalanx Vanguard, that's for sure. Prison Sentence, 2 white. Enchantment Aura, enchant creature. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2. Can't attack or block. Active abilities can't be activated. So it's an arrest where you get to scry 2? That fucking rules. Yeah. A very early pick. Also some very dark art. Jesus Christ. Recommission. 1 and a white. How hostile is this set to X1s? Probably pretty hostile. But it doesn't matter. Like, your 2-2 and your 2-1, like, they're both, like, trading pretty easily. And this one leaves value behind, right? Like, you probably want this to trade. You want this to trade with, like, anything at all so you can get your fucking token. Trade with half a card. Hell yeah. Alright. Recommission. 1 and a white sorcery. Return target artifact or creature card with mana value 3 or less. Okay, so like the card on Earth. If a creature enters battlefield this way, and enters with an additional 1/1 counter on it. Ooh. So it doesn't have cycling, but it gains a little bit of versatility in being able to return an artifact as well. And then a little bit of a buff by getting 1/1 counter. I think this card's solid. Probably not seeing constructed play, but, you know. Recruitment Officer, white, creature, human soldier, and 2/1. Green and white, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with mana value 3 or less from among them. Put it in your hand. Yeah, it's kind of a good Savannah Alliance, huh? I love it when my aggro creatures have an ability that just prevents you from flooding out. Gives you something to do. Can you imagine back in the day when Savannah Alliance was like a $20 fucking card? People seeing this shit at like uncommon. Soldier too. Repair and recharge. Oh, you're comparing it to Duskwatch Recruiter in Modern? I mean, Duskwatch Recruiter is played in the deck that can gain infinite mana, right? It's probably really similar in that deck. I think you would rather overall pay 2 mana for a 2/2 with a 3 mana activation cost than 1 mana for a 2/1, but I could be wrong. Anyway, repair and recharge, 3 white sorcery. Return target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker from your graveyard to the battlefield. Get a tapped Power Stone. Fun. Seems like there's a lot of things that spit out Power Stone tokens. Yeah, so in Limited, for this to really work, like, you're probably going to have artifact creatures hitting the bin for this to be consistent. Obviously, you're not going to have, like, planeswalkers and stuff that often. Rescue Retriever. Precious. 5 mana for a 3/3 dog soldier. This dog's trading with, like, fucking giants. Just saying. Alright, 5 mana for a 3/3 flash. When it enters the battlefield, put a 1 counter on each other soldier you control. Prevent all damage to be dealt to other attacking soldiers you control. Yeah, it's kind of messed up. Would Recruitment Officer be useful in Salvager's LED Loops and Legacy? This fucking card? No. Legacy Salvager combo is a Chalice of the Void deck. You're not playing 1-drops in that deck. This is a Jumpstart card, the Rescue Retriever. Well, never mind then. How can I sort it that I don't see the Jumpstart cards? There's gotta be a way. Set number. And then the Jumpstart cards will just show up at the end, right? Oh, I didn't click the search for these options. Oh, and excluding alternate art is also nice, yeah. Yep. Alright, where are we? Siege Veteran, 2 to white, 2/2 human soldier. At the rate of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Target creature. So it can buff itself on the first turn it comes into play. Whenever another non-token soldier you control dies, get a 1/1 soldier artifact creature token. This card rules, right? Limited, constructed. Just a great card. Yeah, I mean we've had the 2-mana 1/1 version of this that they had to like nerf in some format. And then they printed a version that's slightly bigger and gives you sweeper protection. Cool. Card's gonna see some play, huh? Yeah, Luminary Gaia Sprint's big brother. Soul Partition, 1 and a white, instant. Exile target non-land permanent. For as long as it remains exiled, its owner may play it, but pay 2 more to cast it. Yeah, I don't know if this card's any good or not. I imagine no. I imagine this sucks. Usually when we see this sort of thing on a creature, I mean, then you have the body, right? Like PV's card is pretty solid, but it also has the body attached. This like just doesn't have that. I guess if you're hitting something on the top of somebody's curve, you can keep them off it for a few turns. It's proactive? Sort of. Oh, you're saying PV's is proactive and this is reactive. I guess. I mean, usually it's better to answer something that's in play than the potential of someone casting something. The exception being sweepers, of course. But usually you want someone to spend the mana and then you answer it, rather than saying like, okay, that's gonna cost more, and then they're like, oh, well, I'll just cast this other shit, who cares? You see what I mean? Like, this will be more of a time walk. Huh? I think you might be misunderstanding what I'm saying. Emalagu. I'm saying you'd rather answer something that someone's invested mana into. White bounce. It is basically a white bounce spell, yeah. White gets like good removal though. Instant speed is nice, sure. And you can save your own shit, I guess. This is very expensive to do so. Anyway, Static Net. 3 and a white enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until Static Net leaves. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life, you can tap Power Stone token. Okay. Removal plus Power Stone. Yeah, they like slapping plus Power Stone onto a lot of these cards. Survivor of Corliss. Obviously removal's good. You don't need much value for removal to be a high peg. Survival of Corliss. 1 white, 1/1 human soldier first strike. 1 and a white, exile it from your graveyard to scry 2. Yeah. I mean, they've been doing a good job of giving their 1 mana 1/1s like a bunch of little value, so it like adds up to a decent card. I don't think this one quite gets there. You'd have to be pretty aggressive still to want a 1-mana 1/1 first strike, right? To want a Tundra Wolves. Even if there's a chance of scrying later. I remember, what was it, Omen Speaker? It was like 1 in a blue for a 1/3 that scryed 2 when it came into play, and that card was just like quietly really good. But that's helping you hit your lane drops in the early game. And a 1/3 body is like better than people realize. Whereas a 1/1 body is usually overrated. You think it's gonna be a standard deck? Yeah, I haven't played much standard lately. But if standard soldiers is starving for 1-drops, then I could see it show up there. A 1-drop doesn't have to be exceptional for your like spam the board, dump everything, kill you, constructed deck, play some anthems or whatever. People have played some real rancid 1-drops in those decks before. Thopter Architect, 3 and a white, 2/3. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gains flying until end of turn. Huh. Okay. So all the things that are pooping out Power Stones. You can start jumping stuff. 4 mana for a 2/3 is still gonna be clunky. You're not getting around that. Omen Speaker was in a lower powered set. Yeah, I don't think that really matters. Taku, 2 mana for a 1/3 is gonna be like a solid blocker in any format. And Scry 2/2 is gonna be solid. Anyway, Takashi's welcome. 2 and a white enchantment. Whenever 1 or more creatures with mana value 3 or less enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay, so it's like that fucking welcoming vampire, right? But it's an enchantment. And welcoming vampire is pretty fucked up. Part of it's that it's got like a nice body attached. But this is so much harder to answer. I imagine this card is good in limited. I think without the body, without something that's attacking, it's not gonna cut the mustard in constructed. That's my guess. The vampire does trigger on your opponent's turn, yeah. Hey, Winter Meat 44, at least 8 months there. Union of the Third Path, 2 and a white, instant, draw a card, then you gain life equal to the number of cards in your hand. So it's like 3 mana cycle, gain some life. Huh. Hard to imagine a limited deck controlling enough to want this. I mean, I've definitely cycled some fucking Renewed Faiths in old constructed formats. That's the thing. It even though it's like a janky common, it feels more like a constructed card than a limited card. Maybe some sealed decks. I could see some sealed decks getting that dirtily. Like 3 mana and gain 5 life or something. Draw a card, hit your lane drops. Hey, Snickle LLL, thanks for the sub, thanks for the 2 months there. You watched Hesperia? Never seen that one. Bad Revitalize? I think it might be a cracked Revitalize. Gaining like 5 or 6 life instead of 3. That's probably worth an extra mana for the deck that wants it. Warlord's Elite, 2 and a white, 4/4. Human Soldier. You do want to be a very dirtly deck, though. Like I said, you're not playing this in your aggro decks or your mid-range decks. Warlord's Elite, 2 and a white, 4/4. There's additional cost to cast this spell, tap 2 untapped artifact, creatures, or lands. This card seems good in this format. I mean, I just read through an entire fucking... where like every other white card is spitting a Power Stone into play. So you're probably not going to be dropping this into play on turn 3. It's probably not going to be like a turn 3 4/4. But the turn that you do play this, you're going to be able to play it and play something else. You know, the 3 mana for a 4/4 is still going to be a good rate. Even if you're playing it on turn 5. So you play this and a 2 mana trick or something. I think this card's good. Oh, you can just like literally tap 2 lands. It could be a 5 mana 4/4 if you want. So this is only upside. It's like a 5-mana 4/4 where you can reduce the cost by 2 by tapping 2 artifacts or 2 creatures. Awesome. Two Thraben Inspectors. You just need 1 Thraben Inspector, right? Because it gives you an artifact. Artifact and a creature. Or do you need to tap 2 artifacts and 2 creatures? It says 2 untapped artifacts, creatures, and or lands you control. I assume that meant it was 2 of any of them, and you could mix them. Total between them, yeah. One Thraben Inspector gets you there by turn 3. Anyway, Yoshin Medic, 3 mana for 1/4 lifelink. That's fine, right? Totally fine. And now we're into colorless. God, colorless is going to be huge. I'm going to take a break, go get some water. Probably not seeing play in Ancient Tomb formats. What do I know? I'll be back in a few minutes. Oh, they're not colorless, they're white's artifacts. So I'm still in white. Oh, okay, well I'll do these then. Just kidding. Autonomous Assembler, 5 mana for a 4/5, Vigilance, 1 tap, put a 1/1 counter on target assembly worker you control. Yeah, I mean, that's not a good rate, but the prototype of 1 white for a 2/2 seems like very worth. Because it can grow itself. The much more interesting side. I have a feeling that there's more assembly workers in this set too. Combat Thresher, 7 mana for a 3/3 double strike. When enters battlefield, draw a card. And the prototype's 3 mana for a 1/1. 3 mana for a 1/1 double strike. When it comes into the battlefield, draw a card. Sounds awesome, right? It's an uncommon. Jeez. And then late game, you just have the 7 mana 3/3 version. Yeah, this card rules. Constructive potential. I could see it. I could see it for sure. Yeah, mythic uncommon. I'm with you. Platoon Dispenser, 5 mana for a 4/6 artifact creature construct. Beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more other creatures, draw a card. 3 and a white, get a 1/1 soldier, and it's got Unearth. That's a lot of abilities. And it draws the card like on your turn. The first turn it comes into play. And it'll draw a card when you unearth it too, assuming you have the 2 creatures. Yeah, I can't really say if this will see standard play, but I mean, it certainly seems powerful enough too. Lots to like for sure. Obvious limited bomb. Scrapwork Cohort, 4 mana for a 3/1. When it enters the battlefield, get a 1/1 soldier token. You can unearth it for 3. Seems kind of fillerish, huh? I mean, there's some value there, but it's not a draw to be playing white or anything. It's not an early pick, I don't think. Steel Seraph, 6 mana for a 5/4 with Flying Angel. Ah, people fucking love angels. Beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gains your choice of Flying, Vigilance, or Lifelink until end of turn. And the prototype is 1/1 white for a 3/3. Yeah, this card seems good too. All these prototypes seem awesome. Super flexible. It's a Gundam? Yeah, basically. Takasha's Onulet, 5 mana for a 4/4 artifact creature construct. When it leaves the battlefield, you gain 2 life. And it's for 4. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a common to me, huh? It's like not even that much better in a white deck than mono red or something in limited. It's fine though. 5 mana for a 4/4. Where's this Silex? Oh, this one's got some stuff going on. 3 mana for legendary artifact. 2 white, tap, exile it. Each player chooses 6 lands they control. Destroy all other permanents. Activate only as a sorcery. And when it's put into exile from the battlefield, you can pay 2. If you do, search your library for a Planeswalker, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. So sweepers can be fucking awesome in limited. And this is no exception, even if you're not getting a Planeswalker out of the deal. But yeah, the idea is that you'd play this in Constructed, pop it, and then have the 2 mana to go get your Planeswalker. Note that if you have a bunch of mana in play, you can float a bunch of mana and then cast the Planeswalker that you tutor up. Yep. Veteran's Power Blade. 3 mana artifact. Equipment. Equip creature gets +2/+0. Equip soldier. 1 white, equip 2. This card seems really underpowered. Costs 3. 3? Feels like that's so much. So much mana. Then we got Yoshin Frontliner here. 1 mana for a 1/1. When it attacks another target creature you control, gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Unearth 1 white. Yeah, I mean, that's a fine little aggressive rinky-dink thing. Huh? Got enough little shit on it to maybe not be the worst. It's a soldier, it's an artifact. Obviously, it's not a high pick, right? But it could be like a quiet little role player in an aggro deck. Yeah, standard soldiers. Exactly. Alright, now we've got another color. We've got blue coming up. I'm gonna take a 3-minute break to grab some more water, stretch my legs and stuff. Give my voice a rest. When I come back, we'll start into blue. Alright. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Thanks for waiting for me. I appreciate it. Part 2, the blue cards. Air Marshal, 1 blue human soldier. 3 mana, target soldier gains flying until end of turn. It's 2/1. That's solid, right? Solid for a Goblin Piker. Obviously, 2 mana for just like a regular 2/1 flyer would be better. But it's usually pretty good in limited, and this isn't just jumping itself, right? You could jump multiple things if you have 6 mana or a larger thing. Seems fine. Not an early pick, but certainly gonna win some games. Power Stone's pumping the ability, sure, yeah. Curate, 1 in a blue instant, surveil 2, draw a card. Yep. Solid card is solid. Not going to show up in older formats, but maybe good enough for standard. I don't know. I haven't played standard in a minute. Defabricate, 1 in a blue instant. Choose 1, counter target artifact or enchantment spell. If it's countered, exile it. Or counter target activated or triggered ability. Oh, nice. Yeah, so obviously if this costs 1 blue like a null, it might even like show up in older formats. But this is probably just like good in this limited format. And maybe standard sideboards. Yeah, the second line is interesting, huh? Stifle someone's fetch. Desynchronize, 4 in a blue instant. Target non-land permanent's owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. Scry 2. Huh. Yeah, so not a great card, but sometimes you need an answer. Sometimes you have like no removal, right? It does have Scry on it. Better than Totally Lost? Is it better than Totally Lost? Totally Lost just always puts it on top, right? Isn't that a better card? Yeah, Totally Lost just goes straight on top. This lets the opponent choose whether they want it on the top or the bottom. I think Totally Lost is a better card, even without the Scry. Straight up like denying someone a draw step by putting the shitter on top. Draftna. Founder of Latnam. 1 in a blue. 2/1. Legendary creature, human artificer advisor. 1 in a blue, return an artifact you control to its owner's hand. 3 tap, copy target artifact spell you control. Yeah, so you're copying spells that are on the stack, which makes 3 in a tap like kind of expensive. But that's still awesome, right? And the card itself is kind of cheap, right? 2 mana for a 2/1. This seems like the sort of card that you can write off for forever until someone absolutely murders you with it. You can pay with Power Stones. Ooh. I like the language you're talking, Lennon. I like that. Kind of like a win con. Yeah, right? Like, you just need this and some shitter artifact creature and all the Power Stones in the world. You're just gonna fucking copy it over and over. Create your own little army. Elijah Archaeologist. 1 in a blue 0/3. You think someone's gonna break it? Like in Constructed? Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Hard one to evaluate there. Certainly gonna win some games of Limited. Elijah Archaeologist. 1 in a blue 0/3. Human Scout. When it enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. We put a non-creature, non-land card from among the cards milled this way into your hand. If you don't, put a 1/1 counter on it. Okay, so this is similar to the white. The white one had like flying, right? Am I forgetting? Is my memory fucking up? Yeah, the white one's fail rate is a 2/2 flyer, and the blue one's fail rate is a horn turtle. That seems worse. I guess it's 2 mana instead of 3. And there's no cost restriction on the card you're putting to your hand. Just a non-creature, non-land. It seems kind of aggro Bolassi, huh? It's not just instants and sorceries, though. Like, you can also get artifacts in an artifact set. You want creatures and land unlimited? Right, Rufus. I think you're correct. I think you would rather have a flyer in limited, and you would rather be drawing creatures or lands in limited. I think you were right on that count. Yeah. Seems like a worse card. Kind of a genius, Smithy. Yeah, not really. Smithy's looking a whole card deeper, and then just like being a threat in and of itself, right? Unearth heavy decks? Yeah, for the mill, sure. Yeah, I mean, if you value the mill, you value the mill. With enough artifacts, it might be nice, yeah. Not artifact creatures, though. Flow of Knowledge. Oh, hey. 5 mana, draw a card for each island you control, then discard 2 cards. Instant speed. Kind of a callback to Rush of Knowledge, huh? But sweeter. Yeah, this card scales into the late game really hard. Seems super dope. I mean, it's dirty as all hell, but it does seem super dope. Only good in mono blue? I don't think that's true at all. Draw 4, discard 2 is totally fine. Not hard for this card to be that. And then it scales more. Scales more into the late game. Like at some points you're drawing like 5, discarding 2, drawing 6, discarding 2. And those are good numbers. Silver Scrutiny, yeah, kind of. I wouldn't call it a win con. I can also see myself milling out after playing this, yeah. Or like if you have a couple in your deck. Could definitely become uncastable, yep. But, I mean, that just means in the mid-game you gotta be careful about how many islands you put out. Or just realize that, you know, you've got a card that'll be dead at some point. Forging the Anchor, 2 and a blue sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal any number of artifact cards from among them. Put the revealed cards into your hand. Okay. So it's that green card that people play in Elves, but for artifacts. That's kind of cool. Sick art, too. No idea if this is any good or not. It's probably good in this limited format. Obviously, if you get enough artifacts in your deck, right? Yeah, lead the Stampede, yeah. Draw 5 in an older format? No, 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 no. 3 mana is just like too much for a draw spell. Right? It feels like too much. Forging the Anchor. Like, are you supposed to play this at the Psi spot of your curve? Play this instead of Psi or whatever. Draw some baubles. People played Thirst for a while. Huh? People did not really play Thirst in Affinity. They played it in Broodstar Affinity, which is very different than like the aggro affinity decks that people are used to. Broodstar Affinity played like counter spells and stuff. It was slower. And it was trying to put like a Lightning Greaves on a Broodstar, like a Splinter Twin, you know? The artifact decks that we play these days don't really look anything like that. Mono blue Urza. People don't really play Urza anymore. Unless you're talking about EDH. But literally none of my commentary is pointed at EDH. Hercule, Master Wizard. 1 blue, legendary creature, human wizard artificer. 2/4. Then of your end step, if you cast a non-creature spell this turn, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. For each card type among non-creature spells you cast this turn, you may put a card of that type from among them into your hand. The rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. So it's your end step, so if you're casting counters on the opponent's turn, it's not going to trigger Hercule. But if you play this into like a 0 mana artifact, you get to draw yourself an artifact, right?
Oh shit, what up?
Play this, play a bauble. Yeah, it doesn't seem good enough. Obviously, 3 mana for a 2/4 body is totally reasonable in standard and limited. So you don't need much value on top of that. I was just thinking about for like constructed, you know, modern legacy. Probably not there. Hey Sapi, thanks for 11 months. Yeah, stoked to see you too. Yeah, sorceries get sorceries, exactly. Yeah, 3 is a lot in those formats, especially with at 1 blue, huh? Planeswalkers drawing you more Planeswalkers. I don't know you. This isn't a great place to message me. about that. Hercule's final meditation for blue instant. As long as it's not your turn, the spell costs 3 more to cast. Return all non-land permanents to their owner's hand and the turn. Huh. Yeah, I mean, you need all the fucking mana in the world to do this on your opponent's turn. You need 10 goddamn mana. It's so sick, though.
Oh shit, what up?
Oh shit, what up? Hey, Paper LCF, thanks for the sub, thanks for the 13 months there. Weaker upheaval? Well, I mean, it says non-land. So you're comparing it to Cyclonic Rift, right? I guess it's in between the two, because it's bouncing your stuff, too. You want to Gear Hulk it? I think you still have to pay 3 to flash it back with Gear Hulk, right? I don't know. Do we have a judge? We have a judge in here. The kind of card that should exile itself. Doesn't it? It says exile all spells and abilities from the stack, including this card. Yeah. So because it's ending the turn, it'll exile itself. You could Gear Hulk it on your own turn? Yeah, that sounds great. If you Gear Hulk on the opponent's turn, you get to save a mana. You get to do it for 9 mana instead of 10. You want to use it as a counter on your turn? Yeah, that sounds rancid. Just like very situational for a 7 mana card. Involuntary cooldown. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I don't have ambitions for this one. Involuntary cooldown, 3 and a blue sorcery. Tap up to 2 target artifacts and or creatures. Put 2 stun counters on each of them. Okay. That's fucking sick, right? I mean, it's a sorcery, but even still. Oh, right. So if it was an instant, you would do it on the opponent's turn, and then they would only not untap for 1 turn. But it's a sorcery, so it does it for 2. And then it uses stun counters. All right. So it's almost the exact same version that an instant speed would be. But you don't have to play it all tricky. And because you're doing it on your turn, you get to like attack 1 more time. Keeper of the Cadence, 4 and a blue, 2/5. Human Wizard, 3 mana, put target artifact, instant, or sorcery from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. Yeah, I was saying this card seemed like a very Sam Black card to me. I remember the artifact version of this, where he was like looping his deck and stuff in limited. I'm never gonna play this shit. Koilos Rock, 4 and a blue, 3/3 flyer. It's got flash, it's a bird. When there's a battlefield, you get a Power Stone. Yeah, this card rules. God, I love this thing. Obviously not a constructed card, but I mean, I think it's got like just enough juice in the caboose for limited, huh? Probably not a super early card unless you're doing stuff with Power Stone tokens, but it seems like most decks are gonna be doing a lot with Power Stone tokens. I think this card's likely great. This limited format does seem super neat. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, the art's gorgeous too. Love it. Latinam Adept, 3 and a blue, 3/3. Human Wizard. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. Yeah, it's kind of medium, right? Even in limited. But I guess Ale Giant doesn't have to have too much to be fine. Machine over Matter, 1 and a blue instant. Costs 1 less to cast if you control an artifact creature. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Okay, cool. So it's a bounce spell that can cost a single blue sometimes. Not a boomerang though, fortunately. Might Stone's animation, 3 and a blue, enchantment, aura, enchant artifact. When there's the battlefield, draw a card. Love that. It's a creature with base power and toughness 4/4 in addition to its other types. Cool. Yeah, so you're basically turning one of your power stones into a 4/4 and drawing a card while doing it. So if you have power stones lying around, it's just 4 mana 4/4 draw a card. Love it. Seems pretty consistent. The number of things pooping out power stones, huh? Scissors at home. Yeah, I mean, it's not a constructed card, but I think it's better than Scissors in a lot of limited formats, right? With the draw card on it. Draw a card is worth some mana. One with the Multiverse, 6 blue enchantment. You can look at the top of your library at any time. This is a mythic. You may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a spell from your hand or the top of your library without paying its mana cost. Interesting. So this is we have Omniscience at home, right? This is we have Scissors at home. This is we have Omniscience at home. This does let you hardcast an Emrakul, just saying. And you're getting like a Future Sight ability with it. It's interesting for sure. E-Man is a fuckload. But it's not like Future Sight and Omniscience haven't seen constructed play, right? Kind of hard to write it off entirely. You love the art, yeah, very vibrant, Tom. Retrieval Agent, 3 and a blue. Human Soldier, 2/5. And then it has that Firestone, Fire Breathing, 2 colorless, +1/-1. Seems pretty fillerish, huh? Scatter Ray, 1 and a blue instant. Counter target artifact or creature unless its controller pays 4. Sure. I mean, that's a good rate for a mana leak. Usually what you want to be countering in limited is a creature. Probably a little narrow for constructed, but sometimes janky counters get there. Sky Strike Officer, 2 and a blue for a 2/3 human soldier flying. Whenever attacks, get a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. You can tap 3 untapped soldiers. You control the draw card. I saw this card getting compared to Rabblemaster because like you attack and you make a token or whatever. And I think it's like the way it plays out is actually closer to Psy. Like you're not killing people super fucking fast like Rabblemaster does, right? Like you're running this out and then you've got like a reasonable blocker. And then you like make a few tokens and those tokens can kind of draw cards. A little bit of evasive damage too. It do fly, yeah. Limited bomb? Oh yeah, yeah. Phenomenal limited card. But I think it's probably good enough for constructed and cube and stuff too, right? Crypt Breaker? Yeah, I mean, I think it's better than Crypt Breaker. And Crypt Breaker is a great limited card. Alright, splitting the Power Stone. Crypt Breaker also has its fair share of constructed play. But I guess it showed up in like tribal decks. I don't know if the soldier decks are going to be blue, huh? Might limit this one. Splitting the Power Stone, 2 and a blue sorcery. Is initial cost to cast it, sack an artifact. Okay. Create 2 tapped Power Stone tokens if the sacrificed artifact was legendary, draw a card. Oh. So I read the sacrifice an artifact and I was like, well, there's enough Power Stones in this format that sacrificing an artifact to like do something sweet is probably worth it. But then just like makes 2 more Power Stones. Yeah, I don't love this card. Does not doesn't seem great. 3 mana, make 1 Power Stone. Yeah, exactly. Sack a Mox Amber, draw a card. Ooh. Power Power Stone Harrow. I mean, Harrow tutors from your deck, right, and thins for you and stuff. Harrow, the lands are even untapped. These aren't even untapped Power Stones. You're getting tapped Power Stone tokens. Just a rancid fucking card. Alright, Stern Lesson. 2 and a blue instant. Draw 2 cards and discard a card. Create tapped Power Stone token. Oh, this card's sweet. You don't even have to fucking sacrifice an artifact. And you're getting better value than this fucking thing. Yeah, this card rules. Take flight. 3 and a blue. Enchantment or enchant creature gets +++0 and has flying whenever a creature attacks, draw a card. I mean, auras have to be pretty good. This seems pretty fucking good though. Jump my thing, draw a card. If you don't kill it, I'm gonna keep drawing cards. You think it's costed to touch high? Yeah, I mean, it's costed to touch high if you want to jump a shitter. Sometimes you want to cast your flight on like a large thing though, and in which case it's like at the top of your curve anyway. So even though like the flight granting enchantments are usually cheap, sometimes it wouldn't matter much if they costed more and had some value attached. Teferi Temporal Pilgrim, 3 blue, loyalty 4. Whenever you draw a card, put a loyalty on it. 0 mana, draw a card. -2, get a 2/2 blue spirit creature token with vigilance, and whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. And the ultimate, the -12 here, is target opponent chooses a permanent they control, returns it to its owner's hand, then they shuffle each non-land permanent they control into its owner's library. So I've seen people... I've seen like pretty much every single fucking take in the universe on this card. Todd Anderson was saying that's gonna be like format defining for standard. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of the 5 mana Jace, where you can mill 10. This is a bit better, because at least you can like spit out some tokens. And you down tick, and then you like naturally gains loyalty when you draw your card for the turn. You can down tick again. Blue Planeswalkers usually don't get tokens, huh? I've seen it compared to the, what was that 6 mana blue card? Named after that D&D wizard, the 4 blue thing? That spat out dogs or something? Yeah, Mordenkainen. Mordenkainen was good. 6 mana was like kind of a lot for it in Constructed. We'll see if 5 mana is also a lot for something similar. I mean, it sounds like people are overestimating the spirit. Like, this is a 5-drop, and you're making a 2/2 spirit. If they answer the Teferi, then you have a 3/3 on your turn. And then the next turn, you'll have a 4/4. Like, that's not a... that's not... having a 4/4 on turn 7 or whatever is not quickly running away with the game. Yeah, Moonlight Yandling was decent. Obviously, if you untap with the Teferi, the 2/2 is going to grow a lot faster. You'll run more card draw with this. Yeah, I mean, I've played fucking creatures that grow when you draw a card, friend. I've tried to play them in Constructed before, too. Yeah, right, Volv. I think everybody is simultaneously overestimating and underestimating this card. I will not be surprised if it's not good enough. And I will not be surprised if it is good enough. It's in that range, you know? Gonna be kind of format dependent. People are estimating this card. Yeah, of all the cards in the format, this is one of them. I don't think it's like clearly Nutter Butters or clearly awful. Fair to Midland, yeah. You played some games with it? Yeah. What do you think, Ian? It's very solid. Okay. In Pioneer? You think it's very solid in Pioneer? Interesting. You think it's better than fucking 5 mana Teferi in Pioneer? You'd have a Nassif's Blue Black. Okay, so you're replacing Ashiok. That seems very believable to me. Yeah, thanks for chiming in. Third Path Savant, 2 and a blue for a 2/3. Human Wizard, 7 mana, draw 2 cards. That's a fucking mana sink, hum. 2 mana for a 2/3 is like usually kind of a fine limited body too. I mean, it's filler, but it's filler that will... It's filler until it's not, right? Thopter Mechanic, 1 and a blue, 2/1, Human Artificer. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. Whenever it dies, get a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. Oh, this card kind of rules, huh? Like, their first ability is, like, questionable. But value, fucking death value is really good. Token is flying, too. Reminds you of those old Legion mana things? Yeah. But scaled up for modern times, right? Like, draw 2 cards is better than what most of those were. Here's a Power Stone Prodigy, 2 and a blue for a 1/3 legendary creature Human Artificer. Vigilance, 1 tap, draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever you discard 1 or more artifact cards, create a tap Power Stone token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Yeah, this card's sweet, right? I don't think you can get away with this in Constructed, but I think if this cost 1 and a blue, it would be interesting for Constructed. But as is this going to be a limited card? Oh yeah, it looks like a fucking Yonkala art, hum. Power Stones can tap for Savant. Yeah, that's a good point too. So the 7 mana is like... The 7 mana on Savant, considering that everything's pooping out Power Stones, is kind of like 5 mana for other formats. That's a really good point. Mana works. Cheaper than it seems. I guess that matters for Urza too. Like, it's got 1 mana to tap it, but you're probably only paying the 1 mana the first time you activate it. Because then you have a Power Stone to activate it. Urza's Command, 2 blue instant, choose 2. Creatures you don't control get -2/-0 until end of turn. Create a tapped Power Stone token, or create a tapped 0/0 colorless construct. With this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Scry 1, then draw a card. This card rules, right? Mid? I think this is much better than mid. Well, I don't think it's going to see play in Modern, because you have, like, actual Urza, but there's other formats than Modern and Legacy, right? Yeah, limited bomb, because, I mean, you're getting this huge thing at instant speed. Scry 1, the draw card's great. Having the option to make a Power Stone to pump the construct is solid. And you got this like weird little trick option too. Tapped at instant speed. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you're not ambushing. Not ambushing with this one. That's a little bit worse than I was thinking. This is still a good card though. It would almost be better as a sorcery that made an untapped construct. I will say that. Yeah, it's not gonna break anything. I agree, the art's amazing. Urza's rebuff, 1 blue instant, choose one, counter target spell or tap up to 2 card creatures. Sure, I mean it's an upgraded cancel, right? You're gonna be like mad when the tap 2 creatures kills you. Weak Zone Subjugation, 1 blue enchantment aura, change artifact or creature. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 if you do tap the enchanted permanent. And then it doesn't untap during its control's untap step. Yeah, I mean sure. Blue doesn't get quality removal, so this is what you get, blue players. Suck it up. Wing Commando, 2 and a blue, 2/2, flying prowess. All right. Not great on defense, but it might hit a little bit above its weight, huh? I feel like we've had a 3-mana 2/2 flyer with prowess before. Totally fine, not exciting. Zephyr Sentinel, 1 blue, creature, human soldier, flash flying. When it enters the battlefield, return up to 1 other target creature you control to its owner's hand. As a soldier, put a 1/1 counter on Zephyr Sentinel. It says up to 1, so that's like maybe. This card seems great, huh? I think you could first pick this. You can like save your creatures in combat, your soldiers. Or you just have a 2-mana 2/1 flyer, which is great and limited. Yeah, potentially constructed playable. I wonder if there's a soldier thing in Bloom. Arcane Proxy, 7 mana for a 4/3, artifact creature wizard. Enters the battlefield, if you cast it, exile target instant sword or card with mana value less than or equal to its power from your graveyard, copy that card. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. And the prototype is 1 blue for 2/1. Does this card suck? He's talking about See the Truth? Yeah, that's that draw 3 thing, right? That card it never works. Picks up Ancestral, like Ancestral Vision. Snapcaster at home. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Recast some Rhinos? Sure. I guess. You usually do want to be doing multiple Rhinos. With like more copies. This will make my Rhinos Battle of Wits deck. How about that? Coastal Bulwark, 2 mana for a 1/3. Artifact creature wall, defender. Gets +2/+0 as long as you control an island. 2-tap, surveil 1. I mean, 2 mana for a 3/3 defender that surveils. I mean, sounds pretty hot actually. Cool card. Just limited, obviously. Sick art too. Combat Courier, 1 mana for a 1/1 artifact creature construct. You can sack it to draw a card, and it's got Unearth. Oh, nice. I like little rinky-dink piddlers with all this value attached. Now, this is a solid amount of value for a 1 mana 1/1. I'm into it. Depth Charge Colossus, 9 mana for a 9/9 artifact creature Dreadnought. Doesn't have tap during your untap step, 3 mana to untap it. And the prototype is 6 mana for a 6/6. Yeah, I mean, it's a common, right? It's a chonker. Chonk it up. Think Twice robot version, the combat courier. Yeah, it's like a Think Twice stapled onto a secure tribe elder, right? Which is sick. It's a sick thing to have. Power Stones. Yeah, I mean your Power Stone's gotta ramp you into something. 9/9 might be sweet. Hulking Metamorph. 9 mana for a 7/7. You may have the battlefield as a copy of an artifact or creature you control, except it's an artifact creature in addition to its other types. Its power or toughness are equal to Hulking Metamorph's power and toughness. Okay, so you can clone an artifact or creature, but it has to be one that you control. And then you keep the power and toughness of the Hulking Metamorph. This card doesn't excite me. I mean, it's another thing to cast with your Power Stones. But the flexibility here in between having a 4 mana 3/3 or a 9 mana 7/7 doesn't like really appeal to me. I get that it's always a creature, yeah. It depends on how much mana you have, Phobos, for this fucking thing. That's all. No idea which I'll cast more. Both are fine rates, huh? Four mana 3/3 flyer. Yeah, I mean that's sort of it's sort of that. Like you have to have another flyer for it to be that, right? Spotterthopter, 8 mana for a 4/5 flying. And just battlefield Scry X, where X is its power. And the prototype is a 4 mana 2/3. Well, that's nice and flexible. Seem like weirdly more excited about Spotterthopter than I am about Hulking Metamorph. I think this is going to be a more consistent card, right? Surge Engine, 2 mana for a 3/2. Artifact creature Construct Defender. 1 mana loses Defender and gains Can't Be Blocked. Well, that's a sick fucking ability. 2 and a blue, it becomes blue and has base power and toughness 5/4. Activate only if it doesn't have Defender. And for 6 mana, you draw 3 cards. Activate only, Surge Engine is blue and only once. Okay, so the 6 mana part is probably not happening very often, right? Figure of Destiny blue version. Yeah. Yeah, I guess they're not until end of turn things, huh? It can clock down, it can certainly clock down. No, this card seems nuts. Nuts Unlimited, Nuts Unconstructed. This is gonna murder some folks. Power Stone payoff? Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'm into it. Not happening super often, probably only once. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Voxen. Probably just the one time. Yeah, this card probably just rules. Just nutty. It's like better and better the more I think about it. They will die, yeah. 3 cards is so many cards. The Temporal Anchor, 3 blue, blue, blue. Legendary artifact at the beginning of your upkeep. Scry 2. Whenever you choose to put 1 or more cards on the bottom of your library while scrying, exile that many cards from the bottom of your library. Okay. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with the Temporal Anchor. Wow, what a fucking mindfuck, huh? So you're like drawing a few extras or something that you can play on your turn? Cool, I guess. I would not be surprised if I never cast this card. Terizian Mindbreaker, 7 mana artifact creature Juggernaut, 6/4. When it attacks, defending player mills half their library rounded up. Okay, so it traumatizes people, and you can unearth it. Yeah, harder to kill someone with traumatizes than it seems. This is a casual card, I think. You think Temporal Anchor is like Future Sight but mind-fucked? Yeah, sort of. I mean, Future Sight you can keep going. This one's all like weird and wonky. And costs 1 more than Future Sight for some reason. Yeah, right, Wolf. Future Sight, you can start playing stuff immediately. You don't have to, like, survive with it. Hey, Demonic Tutors, thanks for the raid. Oh, you're thinking about Mindbreaker as a limited card? Yeah, I mean, it's a rare, so it'll show up at limited. But it is harder. it is harder for that, or hard for that to deck somebody. And constructed anyway. You're right, that could be like a solid limited effect. So I mean, for a 6/4 isn't like crazy bad and limited anyway. Awesome, Demonic Tutors got a shout out. Sweet. Yeah, I hope your stream was dope. I'm gonna take a break before I get into the black. We're doing a set review here. We just reached the end of the blue cards. Some real interesting round of things. I think Surge Engine is like my pick for the best card in the set so far. Alright, I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Thanks for waiting for me. Part 3, the black cards. Ashnod, Flesh Mechanist. 1 black for 1/1 Death Touch. Legendary Critter, Human Artificer. When it attacks, you may sack another creature. If you do, create a tapped Power Stone. 5 exile a creature card from your graveyard. Get a tapped 3/3 colorless zombie artifact creature token. Yeah, that's a lot of different abilities. 1 minute for a 1/1 Death Touch is like not the worst. And then you got the Power Stone things. See, the thing is, like, when you're sacking creatures to make Power Stones, the Power Stones are then going to tap to be able to exile the creatures from your graveyard to get the more creatures that you can then sack to make more Power Stones. Anyway. Limited Bomb? Sort of. Card seems sweet. A sick first pick. Yeah, I mean, you have to want to be able to sack creatures, folks. That seems like more of a constructed... something you have more control over in constructed than limited. To me. But I haven't seen the rest of the set. Maybe there's a bunch of stuff you want to sack. I understand that the Power Stones can pay for ability. I mentioned that. Anyway, Ashnod's Intervention, 1 black instant. Until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains. When this creature dies or is put into exile, return to its owner's hand. Oh man, it doesn't even fucking stay in play. It goes back to your hand. It seems like one of the worst versions of this that we've seen. Battlefield Butcher, 2 black, 1/4. Creature Human Soldier. Note that the exile clause is supposed to work with Unearth, but I don't think that saves it for me. Battlefield Butcher, 2 black for a 1/4. 5 mana Human Soldier. 5 mana tap. Each opponent loses 2 life. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each creature card in your graveyard. I mean, it's a Horn Eternal that drains. You can certainly have a dirty enough deck that you kill people with activations, but I don't know if that's the kind of life I want to live. Carrion Locust, 2 black for a 2/1. Creature Insect Horror Flying. When enters the battlefield, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. If there's a creature card, that player loses 1 life. Nice. I mean, there's graveyard synergies in this format, so that's like kind of a cool little ability. 3 mana for a 2/1 flyer isn't like the worst thing ever. Aw, shit, we got Corrupt in here. Awesome. Yeah, blue had that draw card for each islands and then discard 2. So it's like very fitting that black gets Corrupt. Love it. Any target equal to the number of swamps you control. Yeah, you probably want like minimum 10 swamps in your limited deck, but the more the merrier, right? The more the fucking merrier. If you draft 2 of these things, you can be mono black. It doesn't matter if you have enough playables or not. Diabolic Intent, 1 black sorcery is an additional cost to get. It might even like do stuff in constructed. Probably not, but you know, maybe standard. Obviously, it's a reprint. Speaking of reprints, Diabolic Intent, 1 in a black, sorceries, initial cost to cast this spell, sack a creature, search your library for a card, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Yeah, I've seen some very polarizing opinions on this. Doom was saying that it's, like, gonna get banned in Modern or something. And Canister was saying that it's extremely unplayable. Having cast this card before, I think I'm like closer to Canister's evaluation of the card, personally. I've played it in cubes before. I've played it in like Legacy Nick Fit shells. It's like fine as a one of in decks that want to sacrifice creatures anyway. You think it could lead to new archetypes in Modern? What kind of new archetype? We have that fucking evolution card that tutors the creature into play. Are you tutoring for something that's not a creature? Maybe Yogg will play 1 copy. Yeah, right, like maybe. Maybe Yogg will play a copy. And maybe not. Maybe it's like worse than what Yogg already has. Yeah, it's likely ship it IRL. The comparison to Grim Tutor, I think that's a good comparison. Tutor for tutor and get another Diabolic Intent. It's the most busted card in the format. Just get another one. Sack your Young Wolf. Get the Young Wolf back. Go get a Diabolic Intent. Second Diabolic Intent also sacks that Young Wolf. Now you've gotten 2 Demonic Tutors for the price of 1. How do you lose? Alright, Disciples of Gix. 4 black. Creature, Phyrexian Human, 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 3 artifact cards, put them in your graveyard, then shuffle. Well, that's kind of sick. It seems like this should do something, huh? There's probably enough, like, graveyard stuff. 6 mana for a 4/4. I mean, I guess the ability has to give you at least, like, a card plus for it to be worth it. That doesn't seem that hard in this format. Disfigure, 1 black. Target creature gets -2/2 until end of turn instant. Another sweet little reprint, Cast a lot of Disfigures in my life. I'll probably cast some more. Obviously, it's a quality limited card. Even if you can't kill the thing, like, it's still a combat trick, right? Dreams of Steel and Oil, 1 black sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose an artifact or creature card from it. And choose an artifact or creature card from their graveyard. Exile the chosen cards. Is this good? It seems kind of good. But you can't exile the card from their hand, right? Oh no, yeah, no, it's getting exiled. And if there's not a target in one of the hands, it still like tries to resolve as much of the spell as possible. All the other things aren't listed as targets. This is target opponent. Yeah. Yeah, cool card. I think this is good. I don't know if it's like Pioneer good, but it's interesting. A 1 of a Micromancer? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Sick for Greasefang. Yeah, I feel like most Pioneer decks are using their graveyards in some way. The sorcery aspect might be awkward against Phoenix. God, can you imagine getting 2 birds with this out of Phoenix? Can you imagine? I almost want to play it just for that dream. Emergency Weld, 1 in a black sorcery. Return target artifact or creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Get a 1/1 token. This card's sweet, right? Like, just recurring your best threat in the late game is, like, already fine. Like, people play Raised Deads. And this gives you a 1/1 too. And it's flexible, because it's not just a creature, right? It's a creature or artifact. I'm into it. Yeah, a little Gravedigger, basically. Well, maybe Gravedigger. You can't cast it with 0 targets like Gravedigger. Yeah, but I mean, if you're playing a 4-mana 2/2 Gravedigger with no targets, like, you might as well be scooping, right? Fateful Handoff, 3 black, sorcery. Draw cards equal to the mana value of target artifact or creature you control. An opponent gains control of that permanent. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna move along. Gix, Yawgmoth Praetor. 1 black, legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor. It's a 3/3. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may pay 1 life. If they do, draw a card. You bet think there's something funny to be done with Fateful Handoff? Yeah, casting the card is already funny. Congratulations, you've made it to the punchline. People are talking about Unearth. Okay, so you've unearthed a thing, and now you've played your 4-mana draw spell. Your 4-mana situational draw spell. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going back to Gix. This card looks interesting. 1 black for a 3/3 legendary creature, Praetor, Mythic. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may pay a life. If they do, they draw a card. That's you. You're going to be drawing cards. God, that art is sick. 7 mana, discard X cards. Exile the top X cards of target opponent's library. You may play aliens and cast spells from among them without paying their mana costs. Hell yeah. Hell fucking yeah. So this card isn't nutty, right? Excuse me. Yeah, it's 3 mana for a 3/3, like what is Zuri, where you have to pay life. That's fine. But the 7 mana thing, I don't know if it's good, but hot damn do I want to activate it. Cube Bomb, yeah, that's where my head's at. That's where my fucking head's at. You think it's good without the second ability? Yeah, it is good without the second ability. It's just not busted, you know? And I don't think the second ability makes it busted either, because the second ability is so situational. I am in love, though, to be clear. To be clear, I don't think this card is busted, but I am in love. Gix's Caress, 2 black sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. They discard that card, and you can get a tapped Power Stone token. Okay, sure. If you're in the market for some Power Stones, or if you're playing Sealed and the opponent's got some bomb that you just like can't fucking answer, and you YOLO Desperation board in your shitty discard spell to hit it. The fucking Prey plan. Gix's Command, 3 black sorcery. Choose 2. Put 2 1/1 counters on up to 1 target creature. It gains lifelink until end of turn. Alright, that's a sick ability. Destroy each creature with power 2 or less. Okay, sweet. Turn up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. That's some nice value. And then each opponent sacrifices a creature with the highest power among creatures they control. Nice. That's probably like the best ability, huh? So you play the opponent sacrifice their highest power thing, and then you get some value in one of the other options. And 5 mana is a lot of mana, but I don't know. I'm kind of reminded of like the Black Saga that would eat it to the opponent, and then they would discard a card, and then you would get to reanimate something. I think this is giving you like similar levels of value, but this could be a lot swingier because you're doing it all at once, right? Yeah, really fast Eldest Reborn, exactly. Yeah, this card doesn't seem embarrassing to me at all. For standard. I don't know if it's better than like Invoke in Pioneer. It was not crazy to try out. Then obviously a limited bomb. Exceed Infiltrator, 1 black, 2/1. For Exceed Humor, whenever you sack another permanent, put a 1/1 counter on it. Sweet. Nice little role player. This is the sort of card where if you have the right deck for it, you just want like as many as you can get. You can play like 4 or 5 of them, and they're all just insane. Or you just have like a bunch of sacrifice effects. Yeah, Archetype Definer, exactly. And then another deck, since it's going to be a 2-mana 2/1. Ixian Puppeteer, 3 black for a 4/3. Creature for Ixian Warlock. Whenever you draw your second card for each turn, your opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. That's kind of sexy. When it dies, return another target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Also kind of sexy. Will this see constructed play? I honestly have no clue. Seems like really good value for limited though, huh? Enough value there? There's definitely enough value there. There's definitely enough value there. It's hard to argue with that. I mean, if you're like triggering this semi-occasionally and always getting something back, and you're playing a standard format where this is like gets to trade and you get something, then that's pretty sick, but there were a couple of ifs there in there, right? It is no shielder, that's true. Absolutely true. Ixian Skullflare, 2 black for a 2/3. For Ixian Human Assassin. And if your upkeep, if there are 3 or more creature cards in your graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on it. Yeah, so this scales eventually, but very slowly, huh? Very slowly. It is nice to top deck your early game commons and have them, you know, grow and do things, but overall I would consider this filler, right? Even with the self-mill cards in the format. We need a real dirtly deck, or really dirtly format. Gnawing Vermin, 1 black for a 1/1. Creature rat, when it enters the battlefield, target player mills 2 cards. When it dies, target creature you don't control gets -1/-1 until end of turn. I like that it made it a creature you don't control. You're not doing the, what was that goblin that we were just playing with? Where, like, you always had to target something? Festering Goblin? If you have 2 of those out and they kill one of them, then, like, you have to kill your own thing. Yeah, this card's probably got enough things going on. That's interesting. Med uncommon. Yeah, I mean, it's not like a high-value bomb or anything. But I've played variants of this in Constructed, right? Target player milling 2 is really interesting, too. If it is, like, a really dirty format. If your opponent's doing self-mill stuff. You can fucking get them. Go for the Throat. 1 black instant. Destroy target non-artifact creature. So Go for the Throat's a great removal spell, and it's going to be a great removal spell here, but it is an artifact set. You're not going to be able to hit all the bombs with this one, huh? Still an early pick, though. Gruesome Realization, 1 black sorcery, choose 1. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. Creatures your opponent's control get -1/-1 until end of turn. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, usually the creatures your opponents get control get -1/-1. That sweeper is like not good enough to main deck. This one obviously is, right? Because 3 mana to draw 2 cards and lose 2 life is totally fine. Again, not a bomb or anything, but very playable. Yeah, right, the 2 modes together. One of them is going to be good, right? Gurgling Anointer, 2 black for a 1/3 flyer for Exceed Horror. Whenever you draw your second card for each turn, put a 1/1 counter on Gurgling Anointer. Yeah, maybe I'm undervaluing everything that says draw a card on it. There's a lot of these cards that trigger off the second card each turn. When it dies, return another target creature card with mana value less than or equal to its power from your graveyard to the battlefield. So you have to get this thing like pretty big, or you have to be reanimating something pretty small. But it does put it into play, which is kind of cool. And there are some value shitters in this format. The Anointer can rebuy just straight up. Thinking about the Think Twice artifact, thinking about the white creature that rebuys a land or a creature, right? Actually, doesn't the white creature that mills 3 just like fucking chain with Anointer? And it is a flyer that can get swole, yeah. The Think Twice 1/1 like also fucking just combos with this thing. It can loop itself? It can't. It says return another target creature. So it could loop another Anointer. Yeah, I like it. I mean, 3 mana for a 1/3 flyer is already, like, not embarrassing. And then those are some good abilities, especially paired with each other. Hostile Negotiations, 3 black instant. Exile the top 3 cards of your library in a face-down pile. Then exile the top 3 cards of your library in another face-down pile. Look at the cards in each pile, then turn a pile of your choice face up. Opponent chooses one of those piles, put the pile in your hand, the other into your graveyard, you lose 3 life. Sick. It's an instant speed. So, sometimes we draft, when we're drafting Cube, and you have less than 8 people. If you've got like 2 or 3 people, 2 to 4 actually, we do something called Fact or Fiction drafting, where we take a stack of 5 cards and put half face up and half face down, and then the person that you're passing to chooses one of those piles, either the face up info or the face down. It's kind of like this, kind of fun. I think the opponent should be splitting them, but you know, whatever. Still sweet. I'm into it. Killzone Acrobat, 2 and a black for a 3/2 human soldier. Whenever Killzone Acrobat attacks, you may sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, gains flying until end of turn. Yeah, I don't hate it, especially with all the artifacts floating around. Not like amazing or anything, but also not the worst. Misery's Shadow, 1 and a black, 2/2 creature shade. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. And then 1 mana of Colorless gets +1/+1 until end of turn. This has to be the most aggressively costed shade we've seen, huh? And the graveyard hate that's just like stapled onto it for free is better than you're gonna realize. I mean, this is just like clearly good enough for Cube and like probably gonna show up in constructed formats, right? Since Nintuku shade? I feel like we've had better shades since Nintuku. A player is not getting 5 cards. They're getting either a face-up pile or a face-down pile. T-back. So it'd be 1 to 4 cards, right? Depending on how it gets split. And then the other half, whatever gets picked, gets discarded. And now you know how Fact or Fiction drafting works. Well, it's obviously more aggressively costed than in Tuku, yeah. You get a whole ass another ability on there, and it's a 2/2 instead of a 2/1, and you can use colorless mana. The Power Stones power it? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if the Power Stones are going to show up, or how much they're going to show up in Standard, but yeah. It'd be very odd to give someone 5 cards in Fact or Fiction draft, Dot. That would... You literally might as well... If someone's doing that in a Fact or Fiction draft, you might as well just, like, not play with that person. Because they're just... scooping, right? You're literally drafting the cards. Moment of Defiance, 2 and a black, instant. Target creature gets +2/+1 and gains lifelink until end of turn. Draw a card. mean, every time you throw a draw card onto something, lifelink's better than you think it is in limited too. This card's probably just like kind of good. No One Left Behind. 4 and a black sorcery. The spell costs 3 less to cast if it targets a creature with mana value 3 or less. I like that. I like that already. Return a creature card from a graveyard to the battlefield. Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be a sweet removal spell or something. So it's a Zombify that can become an Unearth, or like close to an Unearth. It's fine, I guess. A little expensive. Either mode, but the flexibility is nice, I guess. Yeah, maybe it says draw card on it. I don't know, Roro. Or gain some life or something. You like that it's playable in the early game? I mean, is it though? Like the earliest you're doing is like reanimating a 2-drop on turn 3, right? Like, not that exciting. Overwhelming Remorse. 4 and a black instant. Costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. Exile a creature or planeswalker. Is it? Is it gonna be great? I mean, it's a great limited card. You can, like, first pick this and it's not embarrassing. Especially because there's some self-mill going on in the format. Doesn't read like a constructed card to me, though. Sultai constructed mill deck? Yeah, maybe. I don't know if that's a deck though. Painful Quandary, 3 black enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player loses 5 life unless they discard a card. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a limited card, huh? Or not limited, EDH card. Not a limited card at all. Do not, I would not put this in your deck. Any deck. Power Stone Fracture, 1 and a black sorcery. His additional cost to cast a spell, second artifact creature. Destroy a creature, planeswalker. Sweet, I like that you can second artifact to it. It's probably better than it looks, huh? With all the Power Stones floating around. And black has some sacrifice payoffs. Ravenous Gigamole, 3 and a black for a 2/3 creature mole horror. When it enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. You may put a creature card from among them milled into your hand if you don't put a 1/1 counter on the Gigamole. Okay. So the white one could give you a creature that costs less than 3 or a plains. This one can give you a larger creature. But it has to be a creature that was milled this way. What one had flying too? Yeah, so far the white one has made all the other ones seem kind of embarrassing. Thran Vigil. 1 and a black enchantment. Whenever one or more artifact and or creature cards leave your graveyard during your turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Interesting. I'm trying to think how good this is. Like obviously like Unearth and Reanimation triggers it and stuff. There's like other things that interact with graveyards. Even this Gigamole that's right next to it. I'm thinking about like the 1 in green enchantment that every time you played a land, you put a 1/1 counter on something. And that card was just like kind of okay, right? It seems like playing a land every turn is easier to set up than this. You know what I mean? Does Persist go infinite? Yeah, but I mean, a lot of things go infinite with Persist, right? No, this can trigger more than once per turn. But how easy is it going to be to set it up to do it more than once per turn, right? Yeah, right, we finally broke Persist. Threx, a demon, 1 in a black 2/2. Creature demon, 3 tap, sack another creature artifact, draw a card. Oh, this card's awesome. In terms of reading value cards, this one's gotta be really up there. If you're sacking a Power Stone, then the Power Stone's also tapping into it too, so you're only spending 2 mana. I feel like this card has to rule, right? These stats with upside. Yeah, the art's kind of cool. I feel like this card's going to dominate some games. Like Blacklight kind of wants to be sacrificing. And it sacrifices things that are plentiful in this format. Yeah, real cheap to get into play and all that. Bushmeat Poacher is a good comparison. Love that comparison. Trench Stalker, 4 and a black, 4/5. Creature Beast Horror. As long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn, has Death Touch and Lifelink. Interesting. So yeah, just 1 extra on your turn, hum. And you can trigger this with draw spells on the opponent's turn. I feel like this card's better than it looks. You only have to give your fucking 4/5 Death Touch and Lifelink so many times in a game for it to be swingy. Ashnod's Harvester, 2 mana for a 3/1. When it attacks, exile target card from a graveyard. Unearth 1 in a black. Yeah, I guess this is okay. This is the sort of card that like just doesn't excite me very much, but it's fine. Hitting cards in graveyards is probably better than it looks, right? And stats are totally reasonable. Clay Revenant, 1 mana for a 1/2 artifact creature golem. It is battlefield tapped, and you can return from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, we get a skeleton. We get a skeleton, but it's an artifact. Well, hello, thing that I want to sacrifice over and over. How you doing? Dredging Claw, 2 mana artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has menace. Menace seems like a good ability. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield from your graveyard, you can put the Dredging Claw onto it. Otherwise, equip 1 in a black. This seems way better than the white equipment that only gave like +2/+0 or something and cost 3 mana. Still not busted, but seems reasonable. Goring Warplow, 6 mana for a 5/4 Death Touch. And the prototype is 2 mana as a 1/1. Ooh, I like this one. I like this one a lot. Because the versatility is there, right? Like, you're going to want to play a 2 mana 1/1 Death Toucher quite often in Limited. Just to, like, trade with your opponent's Chonker while you develop. And then 6 mana for a 5/4 Death Touch is totally reasonable as well. But your opponent can't block you with 2 3/3s and get their value, right? That sort of thing comes up all the fucking time in Limited. Love it. Phyrexian Fleshgorger, 7 mana for a 7/5. Artifact creature, Phyrexian Worm, Mythic. Menace Lifelink, ward pay life equal to its power. Wow, that's fucking sick. That's an insane ward cost. And then the prototype is 1 black. So it'll have ward 3 if you play it as a 3/3 Menace Lifelinker, and it'll have ward fucking 7 If you play it as a 7-mana 7/5 menace lifelinker. I feel like this card's insane. Like I don't know if it's gonna show up in older formats, but there's a lot going on there, right? Not as mana as life, correct. Correct. Yeah, it was misleading for me to say Ward 3 versus Ward 7, but because they'd have to pay life, which is potentially much rougher. You'd cube tinker it? Oh, me too. Absolutely. Welder it out or something. Raise your last Transmogrant. 2 mana for a 3/1 artifact creature zombie. It can't block. 4 black, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it. This costs 4 less to activate, and if opponent controls 4 or more non-basic lands. I remember tanking. I saw this spoiled, and I tanked really hard on whether this would be interesting in like Modern and Legacy, and I don't think it is. Even like paying black to rebuy something. It's just not that exciting in a format where you can just like play a land or something and rebuy a graveyard card. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe a standard card, right? Swapwork Rager. 4 mana for a 2/2. Artifact creature, Phyrexian Horror. Enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose a life. Unearth 4. Yeah, as a common, I mean, this triggers all the cards that say after you draw your second card for the turn, and its value, and it's got an unearth on it. Card sweet. Kind of like Skyclave Shade, the Razor Lash. Yeah, kind of, but they need to have 4 non-basics, which they may or may not have. Transmogrant Altar. 3 mana for an artifact. Black tap, sack a creature, get 3 colorless. Weird little ritual altar. 2 tap, sack a creature, get a 3/3 zombie. Activate only as a sorcery. Wow. Yeah, so this card is unplayable. And it would be interesting if you could activate it as an instant. It'd be like a little interesting. And still like not good, but yeah, this card sucks. Sorry, Transmogrant Altar, you're not very good. Transmogrant's Crown, 2 mana for an artifact equipment, rare. I guess +2/+0. Whenever equipped creature dies, draw a card. Equip 2 colorless or a black. Oh, this card rules though. Why is the weird fucking Bone Splitter that draws cards a black card? I mean, I guess you don't have to be in black, right? Equip 2 colorless is totally reasonable too. This card's just sick. Really gross, right? Obviously that it's at its best in black because you can control the death easier with your sacrifice, and paying a single black is nice. But this card's just good in any deck, any colors. You should be first picking this, and it's maybe a constructed card, Fix Skull Clamp, yeah. I mean it is. It's not gonna get banned like Skull Clamp did, but yeah. All right, folks. I'm gonna take my stretching my legs and resting my voice break, and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna play red. We're gonna go through the red cards. Does the Crown make the altar kind of an engine? Yeah, but there's sack outlets that don't suck shit. You don't want to play a card that it does nothing except to sack something maybe. Like there's cards here like the fucking common that sacks a creature to fly and hit the opponent for 3 is better than this altar. This thing that sacks a creature to draw a card, so much better than this altar. Those cards like do something. They do something that you want to do, and they're not like worthless by their own selves. This altar is just worthless by itself. Just like fucking not good. Anyway, I'll be right back. Hey, thanks for hanging out, folks. I guess I'll rescind my comment on Transmogrant Altar. I could see some board states where you could grind someone out with Clay Revenant and just fucking like 6 mana make a 3/3 every turn. If you're paying much more than 6, it becomes like really not worth it though. So I don't think most of the Unearthed stuff is very good. And it needs to be consistent, right? So it works with the Revenant because you can like for sure have it all the time. Especially if you have like a couple. If you have a couple Clay Revenants, it could happen. It's a lot of mana and it's slow, but a 3/3 is not nothing in limited. Anyway. 2 and sack for a zombie, then sack the zombie for a black and have mana. Yeah, but you're not the mana part of this is really just the least exciting part. Hey, Tyrillian thinks the 8 months there. Arms Race. Let's go on to red. Arms Race. 3 in a red. Enchantment. 3 in a red. You may put an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield. It gains haste. Sack at the beginning of the next end step. They fixed Sneak Attack. I'm trying to think of a limited deck where that would be good. I don't think there is one. I don't think there's a constructed deck where that's good either.
Oh shit, what up?
I'm gonna slot this away as unplayable. Oh shit, what up? Hey Hogwash, thanks for 43 months there. Can we talk about Altar some more? Please no. A limited all-star? I mean, like I said, if you can like very consistently make a 3/3 every turn, it has to be like real consistent though. I don't think it's gonna make it in very many decks. Bitter Reunion, 1 in a red enchantment. Has to be slow too, right? Has to be a slow matchup. 1 in a red enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. Sacrifice it. Creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. Yeah, 1 in a red to discard a card and draw 2 cards is totally reasonable in limited. And so the enchantment where you get to sack it and give things haste is just upside. It's just bonus. Just bonus ability, bonus text. Card's sweet. I've even thrown thrills in my fucking aggro decks before. Just because it's nice to not flood to Bejeebus or nice to hit lane drops when you need to. So I'm a fan. You can flicker it? Cool. Brotherhood's End. 1 red sorcery. Choose 1. Deals 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker, or destroy all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. Oh, that's kind of fucked up. Literally every card in the format spitting out Power Stones, and they just gave us like a weird, shitty Shatterstorm for Power Stones specifically. Yeah, this card's awesome. I mean, 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker is already like a solid little piddly sweeper, and then you have the other option too. You can also do a piddly little Shatterstorm. I'm into it. Conscripted Infantry, 2 in a red, 3/1. Human Soldier, when it dies, get a 1/1 artifact creature token. Yeah, I mean, I've liked all of the other ones that give value on death triggers. I think the blue one made a flyer, and that was probably the best one, right? I think it was also an uncommon, though. The Shatter's constructed potential? Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Sorry, I didn't specifically state that, but that's where my brain was at too. Because it reminds you of every other red sweeper with this casting cost and this rarity that saw play in every other standard format ever. Draconic Destiny, 1 red enchantment aura, enchant creature. Wow, an aura mythic, huh? Enchanted creature has +1/+1 and has flying, haste, and 1 mana. This gets +1/+0. It's a dragon. When it dies, you get the destiny back to its owner's hand. Okay. So it's like the one that made a fucking angel, huh? They gave it like +4/+4 in flying. Made an angel. God, that card seems way better than this. Now that I say it out loud. Angelic Destiny, yeah. I think it's bonkers and limited. Well, yeah, of course. Angelic Destiny saw fucking constructed play, though. I don't think this one will. This is your pick of the set for limited? Oh, no. No, it's not that good. It's good, though. Dwarven Forge Chanter. 1 in a red, 1/3. Dwarf Wizard. Ward pay 2 life. Prowess. Interesting little Dwarf Wizard role player, huh? Yeah, this card's kind of cool. Again, not an early pick, but it's gonna punch above its weight. Yeah, I kind of like it too. Excavation Explosion. You think the fire breathing works well with the Power Stones? Yeah, it does, but there's ways of interacting with creatures that don't kill it in this format, right? Like the blue thing that like just takes a creature out of commission for 2 turns. The blue enchantment that just keeps something permanently tapped. Yada yada, so forth. And there's like some really fucked up cards for limited in this format, like this 7 mana 7/5 Menace Lifelink that if you want to target it, you have to pay 7 life. So the Destiny is good. Like don't get me telling you that it's not a bomb or whatever, but I don't think it's in my top 3 for limited right at this moment. Excavation Explosion, 2 in a red sorcery, deals 3 damage to any target, get a tapped Power Stone token. Hell yeah. I'm into it. Removal plus bonus. The Fall of Krug, 4 red sorcery, choose target opponent. Destroy target land that player controls. The Fall of Krug deals 3 damage to that player and 1 damage to each creature they control. Yeah, this is a lot. This is a lot for a Stone Rain, right? Like, we've had similar cards, but they've been like destroy a land and a creature. And this is like destroy a land and maybe kill a creature. It's like 1 damage is a little situational, right? At 4 mana it'd be playable? Yeah, at 4 mana it'd be playable for sure. Right, it's not even into the Maw of Hell exactly. Flyja Chain Dancer, 3 in red, creature human soldier. 2 mana gains double strike until end of turn. Yeah, kind of fillerish, but I mean, if you can pump it somehow, it starts to get sweet pretty quickly. Feldum, Ronom Excavator, 1 in a red, legendary creature, human artificer, haste. Can't block. Okay, cool, I didn't want to anyway. Whenever it's dealt damage, exile that many cards from the top of your library, choose 1 of them until the end of turn, you may play that card. Alright, so you can like serve it in your opponent's 5/5 or whatever, and get like a crazy impulse when this thing dies. That's kind of hard to evaluate, huh? It's kind of hard to evaluate for like Pioneer and stuff. I love that they got his fucking cane in here. That goddamn cane. I'll be on my deathbed and I won't like remember my firstborn child's name and shit, but I'll remember what a fucking Felden cane looks like. Hey Chad Shuby, thanks for 52 months there. Appreciate you. Insane card. Felden? You think it's insane? I mean, it's a legend. And it can't block. I don't think it's insane. And you're only getting 1 of the cards, right? You'd Unholy Heat it? Yeah, right? Sure, have a card, nerd. Right, it's a 2 mana 2/2 that gives you an impulse when it dies. It's for me. It's like in the range of like maybe interesting, not insane, but that's just me. Sort of like Robber the Rich. No, this card's way. Robber the Rich was snowbally as shit. That was drawing you cards while it was like still hitting you. This card's much worse. Ooh, interesting idea, Tridoc. I should get on that life hack. Robber's way better and had reach. Yeah, the reach was very important on Robber. Right, Jersey Attell. It's when it gets dealt damage, not when it deals damage. That's what I was talking about, serving it into a 5/5. Giant Cindermaw, 2 in a red. Creature, Dinosaur, Beast. Trample. Players can't gain life, and it's a 4/3. Oh. I was expecting there to be a downside in there somewhere. Fucking sweet. You can just draft this card very aggressively, right? 3 in there for a 4/3 trample. White's fucking 4/4 was actually like a 5-drop. They had to like, you have to like tap to like get it down faster. Red just like gets a 3-mana 4/3 trample. Like, it's no Bone Crusher Giant. But what is, right? What is? Yeah, that's true. If you're drafting life gain, maybe you don't want Giant Cindermaw. But it's like kind of interesting for constructed. Like, probably not quite there, but it's like I said, like almost interesting. Goblin Blast Runner, 1 red, 1/2. Creature Goblin gets +2/+0 and has Menace as long as you sack a permanent this turn. Okay. Trying to pair this with your black cards, maybe. 3/2 Menace for 1 mana would be pretty sweet if you can have it be that consistently. Horned Stoneseeker, 1 in a red. Creature Lizard. Oh man. This was me in college right there. Just horned out. Seeking stones. One in a red, 2/2 creature lizard menace. Enters the battlefield, create a tapped Power Stone token. When it leaves the battlefield, sack a Power Stone. This card's fucking sweet. 2 mana for a 2/2 menace is like already good enough and limited, and it's like give you a Power Stone for a bit. I'm into it. You love the lizard art? Yeah, it's pretty sweet. You think it's good enough for constructed? I mean, it kind of depends on how good a Power Stone is in constructed. But I could see it being there. Like, people play fucking Wily Goblin in historic. You know, like there could be some spot for this thing. Alpine Guide vibes? Yeah, a bit of that. But this thing has menace. And it doesn't have to, like, suicide into your opponent's shit. It's definitely better than Alpine Guide. Mechanized Warfare, 1 red, enchantment. But you're right, it does have similar vibes. If a red or artifact source you control would deal damage to an opponent, or a permanent an opponent controls deals that damage +1 instead. That's kind of cool, huh? Works really well with pingers and piddlers. Bunch of shitters. Fuck them up. It's kind of like all your red and artifact creatures get +1/+0. But then it makes your burn spells better too. Mishra, Excavation Prodigy, 2 in a red, 2/1. Legendary creature, Human Artificer, haste. 1 tap, discard a card, draw a card. Whenever you discard 1 or more artifact cards, add double red. This ability only triggers once each turn. Interesting. So this could convert a Power Stone mana into double red. Yeah, Looter Mana Dork. Does trigger the draw second card payoffs, yeah. Yeah, certainly seems like a limited all-star hum. Looters are just good and limited, and this like seems a format where looters are especially good because of that ability that you just mentioned. And it can also just be like a Goblin Chariot, or it can be Mana Ramp if you need that. Mishra's Command, Red X, Sorcery, choose 2. Choose target player. They may discard up to X cards, then they draw a card for each card discarded this way. Okay. Oh, the spell deals X damage to target creature. The spell deals X damage to target planeswalker. Target creature gets +X/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. Yeah. So the best modes are like killing a creature and giving your own, and buffing your own thing, right? Killing their blocker and buffing your thing. There's gonna be a situation where it's just Searing Blaze for X. Because of that specific thing. They have one blocker, you have one attacker. Or however many attackers. I like the background in this fucking art, it's fucking sick. Yeah, I don't think it's a constructed card. I don't think it's like quite there. Sick limited card though. You don't think it's a good rare? I mean, just dealing X damage to a creature to kill it is kind of bad, right? Like Heat Ray or whatever. Bad in most formats, but that's not all you're doing. You also get to, like, rummage a bit, or like turn your lands into real spells. Or buff something for the win. I think it's likely fine for a rare. Mishra's Domination, 1 red enchantment Dora. As long as you control enchanted creature, it gets +2/+2. Otherwise, it can't block. Nice. I like how that's worded. You're like pumping your thing, or you're removing a blocker. And you don't have to like pump your opponent's shit to make it not block. I'm into it. Mishra's Onslaught, 3 and a red, instant. Choose 2/1/1, create 2/1/1 soldier tokens. Or creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. It's the cool kind of card that like works well with itself, so you don't get punished for drawing multiples. Instant speed too. Into it. Series Swiss Spear reprint. Not much of a limited card, but you know, not embarrassing. Constructed All-Star, fun one to get into standard. Obliterating Bolt, 1 in a red sorcery, deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If it would die this turn, exile it instead. Okay, so it's a Lava Coil that can also hit planeswalkers. Lava Coil's been seeing some fucking Pioneer play. Those are all just like getting swapped out for this card, right?
Oh shit, what up?
Oh shit, what up? Hey, Chastity92, thanks for 17 months there. Seems like value, it does seem like value. There's plenty of planeswalkers in Pioneer as well. Now you can exile a troll or a Karn. Hell, even exiling a Karn. Well, Karn doesn't like recur itself, like that Cavalier can recur it sometimes, huh? Yeah, kind of relevant. Over the top, 5 red sorcery. Each player reveals a number of cards from the top of their library, and then obviously it's like quality removal for limited and standard and yada yada. You know, the formats that are less powerful than Pioneer, it's also good in. Surprise. Over the top, 5 red sorcery. Each player reveals a number of cards from the top of their library equal to the number of non-land permanents they control. Puts all permanent cards they reveal this way into the battlefield, then puts the rest in their graveyard. So this is not a warp world, right? This is like whoever has a bunch of shit in play gets more shit. Unplayable in all formats? How dare you? How dare you? Nobody wants to cheat in any Emeralds. Exclusively be bad for you. No, you'll just have more stuff than them. Some people don't have much stuff at all, and then they won't get more things. Hey, Rob Bot, thanks for the 27 months there. You don't know if this is the best way to cheat in an Emerald? Well, it doesn't have to be the best way. Anyway. Pendragon, Strong Bull, 2 and a red for a 2/3, creature Minotaur. 1 colorless second artifact. It gets +1/+1 until end of turn, deals 1 damage to each opponent. Oh, sweet. That's a cool ability. It's nice that red has a playable sack outlet too. It's not just in black. Makes red black a little bit more, I don't know, exciting. Yeah, turn those Power Stones into damage, exactly. Pyrrhic Blast, 3 and a red instant. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sack a creature. Deals damage equal to the sacrifice creature's power to any target. Draw a card. So it's a fling plus draw card. Hell yeah. I'm very into that. The worst part about fling was when you had to like sack your last thing to stay alive or whatever. It felt so bad to like 2-for-1 yourself. Fling is nice and limited. This is better than a regular fling and limited. Harder to respond to an opponent's removal spell. Harder to have 4 mana up, of course. But draw a card is pretty great, right? Raise to the ground, 2 and a red sorcery, can't be countered. Destroy target artifact. If its mana value is 1 or less, draw a card. Weird little card. How much does can't be countered matter here? That's so odd. Yeah, that's true. It can kill a Chalice of the Void on 3. Yeah, I don't know if Power Stones are worth a removal spell, though, is the issue with that. But I guess, I mean, that's why you're drawing a card. Beats the ward, pay 7 life? That would be hilarious. Love it. Rock Hunter, 1 and a red. 3/1 with Reach. Man, Reach is such an odd ability to have on a 2-mana 3/1, but I'm into it, I guess. Yeah, hunt them rocks. Sardian Cliff Stomper, 1 in a red 0/4, Minotaur Barbarian. As long as it's your turn and you control 4 or more mountains, it gets +X/+0, where X is the number of mountains you control. Okay, so you're blocking in the early turns, and then like just becomes a 4/4 plus. That's sick, right? I'm into it. Sibling Rivalry, 4 mana sorcery, gain control of target artifact or creature until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste until end of turn. Create a tapped Power Stone token. Yeah, it'd be weird if the Threaten didn't give you a tapped mana rock, right? Threaten, typically the effect that you play to end the game. Now giving you a value Power Stone. I guess you also play it in the sack deck, right? And that deck definitely wants the extra value and the extra Power Stone token. Probably really good there. Steal your thing, sack it, and get some value. Hell yeah. Tumultuous Scrapsmith, 2 and a red for a 2/1 Human Artificer. Under the battlefield, mill 3, you may put an artifact card from among them into your hand if you don't put a 1/1 counter on it. Yeah, 3 mana for like a 2/1 or a 3/2 is not amazing. But this does seem like a format where being able to get an artifact back is kind of cool. Still worse than the white one by a lot. And possibly worse than the black one, right? Like, how easy it is going to be to have more artifacts than creatures in your deck. The failure rate on the black one's higher, too. Like, you get a 4 mana, 3/4. That's way better than a 3 mana, 3/2. Gas and Popper. Oh, yeah, I haven't been talking about Popper at all. But I believe you. Rager for red, sort of. I mean, you need to have an artifact in your top 3 cards. It's kind of a tall ask, right? Tyrant of Care Ridges, 4 red, 4/5, creature dragon flying. Then you have a 3/2. Yeah, very exciting. The old 3/2 vanilla. Alright, Tyrant of Care Ridges, 6 mana for 4/4 flying. When it enters the battlefield, deals 4 damage to any target. Hell yeah. And it's got fire breathing. Yeah, this card fucking rules. Not a constructed card, unfortunately. It costs 1 too much. At least 1 too much mana for that. But it's a sick as hell Flame Tongue Kavu. One of the sickest. Unleash Shell, 3 red. Instant, deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker and 2 damage to that permanent's controller. Sure. Like a fine removal spell, right? Not that exciting. I feel like we've had this before. Maybe not this exact card name, but I feel like we've had this effect. Visions of Phyrexia, 2 red enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Then if your end step, if you didn't play the card, you get a Power Stone. Wow! Yeah, I mean, we've had this effect a lot, and it's just like always good. Just like red getting a draw engine in this way. Always good. It's always gonna like grind out a game. This one, like giving you a Power Stone if you don't end up playing the card, is kind of sweet. Certainly fits the set, Whirling Strike, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains first strike and trample until end of turn. Well, those are some nice abilities. I like how the first strike means that it's solid on offense and defense. Blitz Automaton, 7 mana, artifact creature construct, 6/4 haste. And you can play it as a 3 mana, 3/2 haste due to prototype. Nice. Yeah, I like this. This reminds me a lot of the black one, right? Where you just have like the versatility. It's usually gonna be a 3 mana, 3/2 haste. That's usually totally fine. But then sometimes you just like have a 7 mana, 6/4 because it's the late game and that fucking rules. Elijah Dragon Engine, 8 mana for a 5/5 artifact creature dragon uncommon. It's got flying, 2 mana fire breathing, and the prototype for it is 3 mana for a 1/3, which seems okay. Obviously, you'd rather play the 8 mana version, but 8 mana is a lot of mana. It's gonna come up in limited though. Yeah, neither of these are constructed playable. Heavyweight Demolisher, 7 mana for an 8/6 menace. At the end of your upkeep, tap it unless you pay 3. And then you can unearth it for 8 mana. Yeah, menace is fucking sick. Obviously another limited card, Yeah, with everything pooping out Power Stones, the expensive prototype cards are all probably a little bit better than the luck, Still not. These still are not constructed cards though. These red ones that I'm looking at. Mishra's Juggernaut, 5 mana for a 5/3 artifact creature Juggernaut. Attacks each combat if able. Unearthed for 6. Sweet. Yeah, the Juggernaut like having to attack thing is kind of bad, but the fact that this one has trample and unearth makes it a bit better, Makes it a bit better than usual. Mishra's Research Desk, 1 mana for an artifact, 1 tap, sacrifice it. Exile the top 2 cards of your library, choose one of them until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. And you can unearth it for 1 in a red. Yeah, I mean, this seems like what card draw should be like in red, right? This is a little expensive. Having to play 1 to cast it, 1 to tap and sack it. But you are getting a sleight of hand and then unearth and another sleight of hand. It is value for sure. Phyrexian Dragon Engine, 3 mana for a 2/2 double strike. Enters the battlefield from your graveyard. You may discard your hand if you do draw 3 cards, and it's got Unearth for a 3 red. And it melds with Mishra, claimed by Gix. Do we see Mishra claimed by Gix? Is that also in red? Oh, it's a gold card? Alright, we'll get to it later then. Kind of hard to evaluate that without seeing Mishra. But this is sweet. 3 mana for a 2/2 double strike is like not embarrassing. And then the Unearth is really strong, right? I've brought back enough Seasoned Pyromancers just to make 2/1/1s. And this Mishra lost to Phyrexia looks pretty insane. 9/9. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you choose 3 of all these fucking sick abilities. Mishra claimed by Gix has to be like pretty fucking shit for this not to be exciting, right? Alright, Scrapwork Mutt. 2 mana for a 2/1 artifact creature dog. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Unearth for 1 and a red. So it rummages on comes into play, and then Unearth. Okay, not the worst, Tom. Not the worst ever. Skitterbeam Battalion, 9 mana for a 4/4 trample haste. Enters the battlefield. If you cast it, get 2 tokens that are copies of it. That's pretty insane. And the prototype is 3 red for a 2/2. So it's either 5 mana for 6 trample haste or 9 mana for 12 trample haste. That seems like a pretty solid split card, huh? Especially due to the Power Stones in the format. Alright, I'm gonna look up Mishra claimed by Gix real quick. Two black red, legendary creature, Phyrexian human artificer. So the other one's a 3-drop, and this one's a 4-drop. This is a 3/5. Whenever you attack, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of attacking creatures. If it and a creature named Phyrexian Dragon Engine are attacking... Oh, they both have to be attacking, okay. So the soonest you could flip it is turn 5. Assuming you can't give this thing haste. And there's battlefield tapped and attacking. Oh, that's sick. That's really fucking fierce. Mishra alone is good. Yeah, I mean, then the Dragon alone is fine. The Dragon Engine. This seems like the sort of thing that, like, people will fuck you up with at F&M, right? Like, you train... Like,